Welcome back to the Leisgang Lounge. I mean, today was a terrible day for traffic if you live in La Crosse, Wisconsin. Left and right, there are assholes on the road. I tried taking a shortcut and this motherfucker just pulled up to me and said, "That didn't work, did it?" I am so pissed. This guy looked like he did 6 lines of fucking crack. I cannot believe it. Anyways, the gas prices as well today. They went down another 10 cents, which is helping me with DoorDash. It's insane, and I'm so happy that I have the job right now because they can't fucking fire me. Bro, if I was hungry, I could just go ahead and eat all their fucking food. Who cares? Anyways, today we have a special guest today. He is an A1C for the Air Force, a buddy from high school, Ethan Davis.
Well, how's it going, buddy?
It's going. It's just going, man. How is the Air Force and what is it like?
I mean, depending on who you ask, but you're asking me, so I mean, here's how I'd put being in the Air Force and military, all in all. I think it's a pretty good experience. I'm liking it. It's going to be a year for me in October.
Wow.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy to think that I left that long ago.
Yeah,
Time
man.
flies by, and I'm going to say that as well. Time really flies by when you're in the Air Force. Or any military branch in general, not just Air Force and military.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, my supervisor's, he's been to I think 8 different bases, and he's been in for 25 years.
Holy
and
cow, man.
He said it feels like he was an airman not that long ago. So, I mean, it just keeps you busy.
Right.
You're constantly doing stuff.
Wow, that's amazing. A couple questions for you, and then we'll talk about sports and all that other shit. So what are the pros and cons of the military, if there's any cons?
Pros and cons of the military. Well, we'll start off negative, and then we'll end on a positive note for that.
Perfect.
The cons, you're obviously away from your family and friends, right? I mean, unless you're guard. If you're guard, cool, you can stay by them. You don't got to worry about leaving unless you get deployed. Man, this is another con of the military. I mean, shit, fuck, the computers are slow. It's terrible. It's terrible. Honestly.
How slow on a scale of 1 to 10?
It took me an hour and a half to sign one piece of paper.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah,
Jesus.
computers are terrible. I mean, recruiters get the best computers, I swear to God. My recruiter could load up shit in seconds. I have to take 10 minutes to load up something. A con, depending on where you go, you can have good leadership or bad leadership. And luckily for me, for my first base, I have really good leadership. They're really caring. They actually care about you and what you do and how you're doing. And if you got bad leadership, which I have talked to people who've had that, and it sucks because if you have a personal issue that comes up, they might just say, you know what, screw it, you gotta work, you gotta do your job. We're here to do a job. We're not here to, you're in the military. You're not a civilian. You gotta grow up a little bit. There's people like that, and people just, it's kind of hard to take it,
Mm-hmm.
It's when you're in the military, you got to be able to handle things. You can't just talk back.
Right.
If I was to talk back to my supervisor, I'd get paperwork for that.
Well, yeah.
I could lose a stripe for that. That, it's a big deal. You can't be disrespectful in the military. That's I mean, there's a whole list. I could talk about cons for hours, but I'm not gonna do that. And I'm gonna move on now to the positives, which there are a lot. Well, since I graduated basic training and my tech school, I am halfway already to a criminal justice degree from the credits I got. And then I can use that towards the community college of the Air Force to get my degree in criminal justice if I want, which I'm going to pursue.
Wow, awesome.
There's so many pros. Another one, the free college is the big one. I mean, yeah, all military branches provide free college, but I personally, from what I've seen and what I've heard from other people in other branches, the Air Force sets you up the best for schooling and education because they want you to further your education.
Right. Were you a junior ambassador by any chance, or no?
No.
No? Okay. So I know if you were to be a junior ambassador, you'd be like in the front lines of the job. You're able to like usually get the job that you are asking for with your 3 jobs that you ask for. So what were your 3 jobs that you were wondering, or your M.O.S?
Actually, okay. This was one of the jobs I wanted. Security forces was, so yes, never mind. I take that back what I said. Yes, I was. I did get the job I wanted, but I was wanting command post.
Mm-hmm.
And wow, it's been a while. I can't even remember what the other one was that I wanted. Well, I'll get back to you on that. I can't think of the other one I wanted, but security forces and command post were the ones I wanted. Security forces mainly because I want to go K9. That's something I want to do. And
Awesome.
also, I mean, another pro, right?
Okay.
I'm a cop at 20. You can't do that. You have to go to college in the civilian world to become a cop. You can't just jump right into it. Sure, you can do tag-alongs and ride-alongs, but that's not being a cop. You have to do, it's like I think a 2 or 3 year course that you have to take in order to do it.
Wow. That's
And
amazing. That's
people
really
are
cool.
cops at 18. Like, that's not unheard of.
That is really unheard of. Wow. I guess kind of transitioning from what you said there, do you recommend the military? It's probably an easy answer.
No, I mean, you gotta think about it, right? Some people join the military because they have problems back home. And it's a really good way to leave that. Like, if you grew up in a very shady place, and you want to get out of it, it's the perfect route. You can start fresh, clean slate, boom, move on from here, right? And then you get the people who think, oh, the military's cool, badass, I'm gonna go kill some people overseas, and then they join and they hate it. So, I mean, personally, yes, it was the best decision I think I've ever made in my life. And if we want, I can talk about how I got to join the military. I mean, it's up to you, man. I got all day.
Go ahead. Yeah, I got all day too.
Okay, so originally I wanted to join the Marines, right?
Right.
This was me just making a snap decision. Yep, I'm joining the Marines. I'm gonna leave this boring city of La Crosse and get out of here. Well, my mom wasn't too thrilled about that, so she was like, "You're 17. I'm not signing those papers for you, so when you're 18 you can do it." She was like, "Just do me a favor before you decide to go in the military, aka Marines." She wasn't a fan of me joining the Marines. She was like, "Just do some research before you do it. Make your decision." And I said, "All right, cool." I took a year. I talked to all the different branches, did some research, and found out Air Force was the way to go. And everyone I talked to that was prior military, they said, "Go Air Force. Go Air Force." "Oh, Air Force is easy. All you do is sit on your ass and do nothing." Well, that's not true, first off. Second of all, the process was really easy to get into. It's just super easy. Granted, you're up at MEPS all day. There's a lot of shit you got to do to get in, and they got to do all these tests on you. I mean, it's not as easy as people think. You can't just, "Oh, I'm joining inside this paper, cool, I'm going." You have to pass a physical, a mental exam, hearing exam, eyesight exam. I mean, there's so much stuff you have to do. There's a lot that goes into joining the military. You can't just sign a paperwork and leave, like a lot of people think you can.
Wow. Okay.
But yes, I would totally recommend it. It sets you on the right foot. You can reset, have a fresh start, and start your adult life. It gives you a chance to grow up. Instead of having people take care of you, you now have to fend for yourself and do everything by yourself.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I guess comparable to like the Marines. Everyone says the Marines, oh, they're so like difficult on them and stuff like that, and that the Marines is the best way to go. But I mean, after doing research, I had an ex who was in the military, or who is in the military and was in the Air Force, and she did countless hours of research on what M.O.S she wanted to do, and I was right by her side, and I learned so much about the Air Force, and it made me almost want to join the Air Force. But there's really not a lot of cons, like you kind of just said. I mean, You get paid to be in tech school, to work out, basically.
First and the 15th of every month.
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy. I mean, you're not going to find that anywhere else. I mean, you're just not. So
Yeah, I mean, it's not that much money, but to start out, no, it's not a lot of money. Yeah, well, so here's the thing. That's when you can start up a little side hustle, and that also gives you an opportunity to be smart with your money. Because if you're not getting paid a lot of money, well, maybe you should save it, right? Put it away for something that you want to purchase, like a house or a down payment on an apartment.
Or
start a side hustle.
Yes.
Yeah.
Stocks, or even starting to do DoorDash or something. I don't know.
Yeah, you can do that. No, DoorDash
No.
isn't allowed on base.
Ah, damn.
You can do it off base, but you can't do it on base. So.
And there's only, I know for tech school you can't really leave base until you get like to your third phase, I believe, right?
Phase 3, that is correct.
Phase 3? Okay. Yep.
Oh, no, phase 2. Phase 2
2,
you can leave base, but you have to be in your blues. That's how it was at my tech school, and I'll get into that later.
Okay. So I'm guessing you think the Air Force is the best branch in the military. I mean, from all the facts that you just pointed out, I mean, it's a no-brainer.
Yeah, I mean, so personally, yes, Air Force. I would go Air Force. If I was to do this process all over again, I would probably still end up going Air Force. Only because... Okay, so hear me out. I have a friend who is in the Marines.
Okay.
I mean, she says she loves it. But she had to go to all these other schools, and she's not even doing a real job yet. She graduated basic like 3 months ago. She's not even doing her actual job yet. She's still in school. I did my school. I think my school was basic was 7.5 weeks, and then I went to my school, which was about 3 months, and I'm already doing my job. And
that's insane. That's amazing. So yeah, I mean, comparably, yeah, just Air Force is the way. I mean, seriously.
Yeah, I would. And the Air Force has the best benefits. Personally, yeah, the DoD has all the same benefits. Not really. Air Force has a lot of good programs and benefits that you can use for one, schooling. Like, that's a huge one. Housing, financial advisors. I mean, they got literally everything of what you need. Personally, like, I could talk about this all day, but it just take too long to talk about.
Yeah, I mean, I feel the same way with some things that I'm very passionate about. I mean, same thing with like football and all this other stuff. I could just talk about it all day and not get bored of it. So, and same thing with politics and government and stuff like that. But I got a couple questions, to get off a little bit of the starting questions that I had here. What is your opinion on the weight requirements for the military, and if they should really count that and instead use the BMI scale?
I haven't actually really thought about that, because I was a good weight to get in. I mean, I don't even know what is the lowest and highest weight you can be.
Yeah,
do you know that?
So for the Navy's actually the lowest. For my height, I have to be 211 to just be able to barely make it in. For the Air Force, I believe it is 218, and that is the same for the Marines, the Army, and the National Guard. So I personally think, from my point of view, as a bigger guy that has a lot of muscle mass, about 190 pounds of muscle mass for the 240 pounds that he has, it's going to be very difficult for me to get down to that weight. My BMI is going to be down to probably about 10%, if that, if I were to get down to there. So, and the only time that the weight matters is when you're scaling in to go for basic. That's the only time that it matters. That's what my ex told me. That's what a lot of people have told me. That's when it only matters. Because do you get weighted during your job right now at all, or?
Nope. But only thing. Okay, actually, when you're talking about that, it brought up a conversation I had with someone at Basic. So he had to drop, I think it was about 30 pounds to get in,
Mm-hmm.
and he did this in the span of I think a month and a half to 2 months. And he said, I ran every day for about 10 miles with a trash bag on and a sweatshirt on to lose weight. He lost a lot of weight, but he was still eating healthy and doing all the normal things. He just was exercising a lot more. I mean, he says he
Yeah.
doesn't regret it because now he can get as big as he wants. All you got to do is lose the weight to get in, and then once you're in, you can. I mean, there's a certain. Because you still have to pass a PT test
Mm-hmm.
every year. You have to take a PT test every year. So, and at basic. And you can go into basic, be like, oh yeah, I'm in the Air Force. You're not in the Air Force until you graduate basic. So, you have to pass that PT test by week 5. Week 5 is when the PT test happens. You get, I think, 2. I don't remember if it's 1 or 2. I know they're changing up the systems all the time. When I was in, we did a mock PT test, and then we did a pre-PT test, and then we did a PT test. So,
Wow.
I mean, you get in shape anyways because the guys, when you have downtime, are going to want to be working out, pushing each other, get better. So, yeah, I mean, personally, I don't think it's 100% fair that you have to put a weight, but I mean, at the same time, I don't know what their uniforms, like the biggest uniform they have goes
Right.
for. I don't know
Mm-hmm.
what the smallest uniform they have go for.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
It's
I don't really know what to say
understandable.
about the weight.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of a thing that I've had with it. You know, I've talked to many recruiters, you know, for the Army, Air Force, the National Guard, and that was the main concern always, you know. For me personally, I have a great metabolism. I could lose weight perfectly fine, but it's very difficult to get under 220 for what I'm like. I hope that they can change that, or maybe like go morally based on the BMI scale or the PT test instead. And if you don't pass the PT test, then you know, of course, consequences. But yeah,
I 100% agree with PT. Yeah, okay, now that you said that, I think they should, all across all military, cool, you're over the weight scale, but can you pass the standardized PT test? I mean, I think that'd be good. I mean, every branch has their own PT test, so...
yeah, I think that would be a great idea. I've always had that on my mind, and you know, it's not like I can just go to the fucking Air Force and be like, oh, you should implement this, because they're not going to listen to a damn civilian. They're just not. So, yeah, I mean, maybe one day. I mean, there's really nothing we can do about it, but it's just a good conversation to have, you know.
Yeah, I totally agree. I didn't even think about that. I mean, I 100% agree with what you just said. I think they should have a pre-test in order to get in, so they know that you won't fail the PT test at basic. Because militaries, I mean, you're under their care. They're paying you to be at basic, and if you fail your PT test, well, they kind of lost out. So they want to get the effort that they're going to put into you.
Mm-hmm.
So they expect you to pass the PT test.
Exactly. It's kind of like investing in damn Bitcoin or whatever. You're hoping that that thing fucking rises, but it drops faster than the ball New Year's Eve. But
Yes.
so, kind of just to go on to the next question, because we could talk about this for hours. What were the struggles from being a civilian in La Crosse, Wisconsin, in West Salem, Wisconsin, to going to San Antonio, Texas, to go for basic training?
That's a really good question. Be prepared for a big answer. All right. So, when you first get to San Antonio, you're up for a really long time.
It's
I
harder
don't
than
think
a motherfucker.
Actually,
Depending on
I
when
went
you go.
there. I went there at the right time. I think the hottest day was like 95, and the coldest day was about 20 degrees. You gotta stop saying I. It's kind of hard. They don't like it at basic when you say I, because you gotta say So how when you approach an MTI, that's what they're called in the Air Force, is the training instructors, military training instructors, MTI. When you approach them and have a question, you're gonna say either some of them will clarify, I want you to say my rank and then name, or they'll just ask if you just say sergeant. Okay, we get the point. But when you approach an MTI, you got to be like, Sergeant trainee so and so reports as ordered, and then they'll either say go away or speak, and then you can talk to them. So it's kind of hard to remember that at first because you're flustered, because when you get there they're trying to break you down mentally, and then they build you back up towards like week 3, week 4. They want to break you down, see if you can handle it, handle all the stressors of trying to do tasks, because yeah, it's not that big of a deal. Like, some of the stuff they do is kind of corny, but it's trying to put you in the mindset like, if I don't do this right, someone could lose their life. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. It's not a joke.
Yeah, no, you got to work as a team. You got to learn that it's not just you who's struggling. Like, you're not here by basic training by yourself. You're with a bunch. I think I had like 55 people that I graduated with. So it's not just you. Being away from home, yeah, it sucks. Not being able to talk to your friends and family all the time, yeah, it sucks. But at the end of the day, you gotta remember why you joined. What's your why? That's what our MTIs would always tell us. What is your why? Why are you here? My why is, I'm here for my family, and I'm here to set up future success for myself and my future family, if and when I have one.
Mm-hmm.
So you just got to remember that you're not alone. You're a team, and the Air Force is another family to you, because you got all these people around you struggling with you, and if you work together and build them up, you create a bond. That's why they say I met my closest friends in the military, because it's true. I met some really awesome people here, and I got some really amazing friends here. I miss my friends back home dearly, I'm not gonna lie, but this is my other group of friends. This is my other family. So if I'm ever alone, I just, like, okay, I'm not alone. I have everyone else here.
Exactly.
So
I can relate to that, and I think you kind of know. Holman football really emphasizes on brotherhood, and I think that the Air Force and I think a lot of the military branches kind of focus on that too. Maybe they don't really say brotherhood. Maybe they do. Maybe they don't. But regardless, when I was in football, freshman year to senior year, I mean, it was a family. Like, everyone would call us each other by their last names. We would invite each other for team meetings and meals and stuff like that, and separate practices just to get better. Offensive linemen with the offensive linemen in the off season. So I can definitely relate to that. And when you guys have what's the damn word? When you guys have a common interest like that, and you guys are going into basic training at the same time, you guys are going through the same shit, there's some sort of mental thing that just brings you even more closer, because you can relate so dearly to what's happening.
And you're with those guys for 7.5 weeks together. You shower,
100%.
you eat, you train, you work out together. It's all you do for 7.5 weeks, and you learn, because you got to learn about the Air Force. You got to learn its history. And you get yelled at together. If one person fucks up, everyone's got to suffer for it.
Yep.
Yeah, it gets so annoying after a while when that one person can't get it. But that's when everyone comes in and builds them up. They help them with what they're struggling with, so then they stop getting yelled at. And the MTIs love to see that. I can't tell you how many times my MTIs and other MTIs would compliment my flight because we were a really good flight. We never really got yelled at because we all worked together and helped each other. So you just gotta, like, suck up the suck is a term that they have said. So I mean,
Well, this is just a great conversation, and I'm really happy that you brought up the family thing because I can really relate, especially because of me knowing a lot about the Air Force. Maybe I don't know everything, but I think I know more than the average Joe off the streets of Manhattan. So, kind of going off what you said, for me, I'm going to have an opinion about this too. So after you say this, I'm going to say what I think about the military. But what was your thoughts of the military before joining the military? Did you think of it being any different than what it is now?
Well, we were currently still in the Afghanistan war when I joined, so I was figuring they were going to try to push more combat skills on us. And I mean, which they did. They focused on combat a lot, but at the end of the day, during basic, we pulled out of the war. So I was like, well, I don't even know what it's gonna look like. I basically thought I was gonna get pushed through and like get sent over or something. I don't know. But I'm at Maelstrom Air Force Base. I'm a missile cop. All right. So
That's
I mean,
sick.
I didn't think I would be guarding nuclear missiles for my day to day.
That's sick. That is really fucking cool. I'm sorry. That is so cool. But yeah, I mean, so for me, I mean, I guess your ideology or what you thought of the military hasn't really changed. I mean, being in it and being a civilian are two different things. So for me, when
Civilians are super annoying. I'm not even gonna lie to you.
yeah, I mean, I'm pretty fucking annoying. I'm not gonna cap to you, but
When you're, yeah, when they're trying to prove their point to you at the gate and they say you're wrong, and then you tell them, nope, I have to do this. You have to pull over. I have to search your vehicle in order for you to enter on base. It's a rule. Sometimes we have to do random inspections. It's just a rule. And then they try to fight you and say you're wrong. Like, how are you going to tell me I'm wrong? I learned my job. I know what I'm doing. Pull over,
jeez.
or I'm going to turn your ass around and you can find somewhere to sleep. You ain't coming on this base if you don't listen to me. Like,
Right.
carry on.
So what I think of the military, I think it's before, right around probably like September, October last year, I would have said the military. I wouldn't have been able to tell you what the difference between the Air Force and, I mean, of course I would have been able to tell you like the Air Force is like more like air based, but like, I don't know, it's just, I thought they all had the same qualifications, that they went through the whole everything the same, and then right around April, I had a lot of compassion and a lot of sympathy and empathy for the people that were leaving for basic training, leaving their families, their loved ones. Some people, they just go into the military because they have no purpose in life. They might be a 25-year-old man living in his mother's basement and says, I have no purpose in life. I need to find my purpose. And that purpose would have been the military. So for me personally, I think it's a great way to find your purpose if you don't have a purpose in your life right now, because finding a purpose in life will definitely change how you feel about yourself mentally, physically, emotionally, and it'll help the other person in the relationship if you have one further down the road. So I think looking at it now, the military is a great way to find new people. It's kind of like college. I mean, finding new people, finding relationships, it's a great way. It's just an amazing way. So there's a lot of pros with the military, like we've gone over, and there are very few cons, like the fucking slow computers. You just gotta push through it until maybe you become a recruiter later on in life, and you get that nice computer. So well, maybe so, but that's how I think of the military. I think it's I have sympathy for so many people. I mean, there's a reason that we celebrate Memorial Day and the ones that have fallen, and the 4th of July, but the 4th of July is mainly for the independence of the United States, but it still has this kind of that military kind of like esque to it. So yeah, I mean, I have nothing but respect for you guys. I think it's terrible that people are spitting on the flag, that are kicking the flag, disrespecting the flag. I think it's just terrible. I think it's not only is it insulting the people that were in the Civil War, the Spanish-American War, the Revolutionary War, the war in Afghanistan. It's
World War One, World War Two. Like, people
exactly,
are still alive from World War Two, and they see that
exactly,
stuff.
and
I mean,
it's sad. It's terrible. It's just
go ahead, kick the flag, spit on it all you want, but if you're one of those people and you come crying to me when you need help, I'm gonna be hesitant to help you.
exactly.
Why
So
are you gonna disrespect the flag that I work so hard to protect if you are gonna, like, don't come up to me and ask me for help if you're gonna do that. That's all I'm gonna say.
right,
Because I'm gonna be hesitant to even help you.
So I can kind of make a little bit of an analysis with this. So there's a thing still going around in the United States: defund the police. You want to defund the police until you're in dog shit. When there's an intruder in your house and you call 911. Who are you calling? The police, basically. You're calling dispatch to bring a police officer to save your fucking life. So I don't want to hear people say, "Oh, we need to defund the police." No. We do not. I think there are some bad apples, without a doubt. There are some people that are utilizing their power a little bit more than they should. But what the fuck? Defunding the police? It's just terrible. I cannot believe it. And people are two-faced. Like you said, civilians are fucking annoying. And I can see why you know this and think this. It's unfortunate that civilians have that ideology and that idea that they just want to be fucking pricks 24/7. So, but yeah, I mean, wow, man, I'm fired up now. But so I guess we did talk about this a little bit earlier. How did you tell your friends and family that you were going into the military? Now, I'd imagine that your mom did not like it, but how did she take it, and how did your friends take it, and what were your thoughts on that?
Now, my mom liked it when I took a year off and decided to do some research. She didn't mind the fact that I did that. She just didn't like how spontaneous I was with the Marines. She just wasn't on board with the Marines. She was cool with the Air Force. She was cool with any other branch but the Marines. Her cousin lost his leg in the Marines, so she doesn't want me to get hurt or have to worry about me getting hurt. And she didn't like how fast I was like, you know what, I want to be a Marine. And then she was super supportive when I decided to join the Air Force. She came to my basic training. Shit, she'll be out here in early August. My friends, everyone is supportive. They have plans on coming out here to see me, and I have plans on coming back home. I mean, no one really was negative about it. The only thing that was negative was when I first said, I'm just going to join the Marines.
Mm-hmm.
And then started the process. But I stopped that and decided to do some research and actually think about it.
Yeah, I mean, I thought that even just before you said that your mom would have been like outrageous about the Air Force. But I mean, having the people that support you the most in life support you being in the military or the Air Force probably did boost your morale, knowing that you have those people that are sending you letters that are really just, they have your back, even though that you might be 1,800 miles away from home in Wisconsin, that you still have those people that are here for you. Old friends, old high school friends, family members, your fucking dog, shit like that. So, yeah, I mean, I'm happy that all your friends were positive about it and your family was positive about it, because it probably made the system or the situation a little bit more easy. I'm not saying that it made a shit ton more easy, but probably just a little bit more easy.
No, yeah, it definitely helped knowing that I had that support. It made basic really easy. I think knowing that, like, man, I got these people back home that I'm gonna graduate so I can see them, so they can see me in my uniform. They can see me get my airman's coin. They can see all the cool stuff about the military and get to experience it with me.
Yeah, I mean, I watched the whole graduation. Not for you, unfortunately. I wish I did. But the graduation for my ex, and they got their airman's coin, and they sang the creed loud and proud. Airman's Creed. And question, if you fucked up the creed in basic training, did you get your shit beat out of you? Did you have to run and all that stuff?
Airman's Creed was done every morning during PT.
Okay.
And everyone did it together. The thing you're talking about is the Air Force song.
Ah, okay.
we did that together as well. The only time we'd ever do it on our own is if uh, an MTI just questioned us and like, hey, do you have this memorized yet? And if you do, just tell me how much you have memorized or whatever. It also depends on the MTI. Maybe sometimes they'll just require that you have to memorize it, and if you don't, you'll get yelled at. It just really depends on who's your MTI.
Okay, that was just a question that just popped up in my head. So a lot of these questions I have next we've kind of answered. Like how do you stay in touch with the family and friends back home? Obviously.
Letters and phone.
Letters and phone, yeah. And I'm guessing there's a lot of things that you missed about the civilian life. If I asked you this question when you're in tech school in phase 1, you would have said freedom. 100% you would have said freedom, because when you're in tech school, you would have been, I have to go to class, I have to go to PT every morning, I have to wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning, and, it's shitty. It is really shitty, but it pays off in the end. Was there anything or anyone that helped you during the transition from civilian to military life? If that was a sergeant, if that was an MT,
MTIs. MTIs, all the way. Because they're there with you every day. From the time you wake up to the time you go to bed. They're with you. They're training you. They are teaching you. And they are forming and shaping you into an airman. And they're doing their best that they can. And then at the end of the day, we always have this thing called Airman's Time, where we sit down with our MTIs and we just talk about stuff. It's a very relaxed environment where we can just ask questions about the Air Force or life in general, like financial advice, like sport. Like, we sit down and just talk about anything. They're there to yell at you and make sure you're doing the right thing, but at the same time, they're there to make sure you're all right and make sure you understand what you're getting yourself into. And they're not there to be your friend, they're there to be your brother in arms, your sister in arms. They're really good people, and if anyone else was to think about joining, don't be afraid of, MTI is gonna tear me a new ass, they're there to be a jerk. No, that's all wrong. Whoever has said that is wrong. At the end of the day, they are there to help you. There's no need to think that they are the bad guy whatsoever.
Yeah, wow. I personally, from a civilian standpoint, I thought MTIs were there to just yell at you. Just yell at you and kind of like deteriorate you and kind of build you up. So that's what I thought. But, MTIs, they're people too. They went through the same thing that you're going through. So they have a good understanding on how to mentally cope with it. And not even just mentally cope, because a lot of that mental shit is kind of like masked up, because you guys are in the military, you guys are supposed to be really tough. So like that sit down time like you're talking about, that's where you can kind of like ask about financial situations and life after the military, or like anything
that's your decompressing time of the day, because
Exactly.
you're go all day, and that's your time to decompress and just talk like normal people.
Wow. I didn't even know about that. Wow, that's actually really cool. Those are all the questions that I got for you for the military. I really do appreciate the answers that you got that you gave back to me. They were full-hearted and full responses, not just yes, no, maybe, I don't know. So I do appreciate your time, but before I let you go, I'd like to talk about another thing, kind of transitioning from the military. What do you think the Packers are going to be like without Devontae Adams?
It'll hurt, but I think that opens up a door for all the other players to step up and take on a role. We got a really good wide receiver. I feel like he might have not a breakout season, but a good first rookie season. And this is a good time for Alan Lazard, Tanyan to step up, fill their shoes up a little bit. And also, Packers have a lot more, or they should at least have a lot more money to spend, right? Because they're not paying Devontae Adams that huge contract anymore. They offered him a lot of money, and he decided he wanted to leave. He wanted to go back to the West. Can't hate him for that. Everyone that makes, you can't hate him.
You can't
You
hate him
just
for
can't.
that. But the Packers counter offered what the Raiders were offering and offered the same amount, and Devontae said, "Nah, I'm going." So, for me personally, I think Christian Watson, that rookie, is going to have a breakout year. He's going to be top contender for that rookie of the year. I think so. He's a mixture between, when I look at him, Julio Jones and near ass fucking Tyreek Hill. That motherfucker can run. You can throw a 50-50 ball up to him and he can just snag it. He's amazing. He's quick. Alan Lazard is the same way. 50-50 ball, throw it up to him. How many times has he caught contested catches? Against the Lions that one year when Devontae was out. Just there's so many things that Alan Lazard can do. And Tanyan, 2 years ago he had an amazing year. Career high of 11 touchdowns or whatever like that. He was going off. So we need another fantastic year from Tanyan. I think A.J. Dillon and Aaron Jones they're gonna go complete off. I think
1-2 punch.
A.J. Dillon is going to be the number one running back. I think that because I think Aaron Jones is going to be used more of a wing back. I think he's going to be used more of a kind of like a wide receiver almost, not like an actual wide receiver, but I think he's going to be utilized in the receiving game more than what he usually is. And I think A.J. Dillon is too, but I think A.J. Dillon's going to pound that fucking rock, especially because it's the frozen damn tundra. So that's what I think personally. And then our defense is only getting better. All of our draft picks went into the defense with, what's his name? We got DeAndre Wyatt on the line to complement Kenny Clark. We have Quay Walker as well at the linebacking position with Campbell
We also
at
got
linebacker.
who did we pick up from the Ravens this year? Who was that wide receiver? Didn't we pick up Sammy Watkins?
Yep, Sammy Watkins. Yep.
He's not bad. Yeah, he's a
No.
little old, but he's not bad. He'll be able to contribute, get some good
100%.
route running in.
Yeah, and then we're also in talks with Julio Jones at the moment, but I don't think we're going to get him. OBJ's still in the market. John Brown from the fucking Bills. He went to the Packers facility to work out, so that's there too. He's an old one, but he's fast as fuck. I think we're trying to get speed on our team. Honestly, I think Marquez Valdes-Scantling, losing him is going to hurt more than Devontae Adams. We're going to lose that deep threat because look how many balls Aaron Rodgers would throw to to Marquez Valdes-Scantling that turned into touchdowns. One-play touchdowns against the Vikings, against the Bears. It's crazy. Marquez had a lot of drops, but he was an amazing, just kind of like, he was just
He's
so
a deep
awesome.
threat.
He's just a deep threat, yeah. He's quick as hell, and I hope that he does good with Patrick Mahomes, and I think he's going to do amazing. So he's a wide receiver 2 there. He's going to do amazing. Or no, I think he's a wide receiver 3 because there's Mecole Hardman and Juju there. So, I think the Packers are going to surprise people. I think a lot of people are sleeping on the Packers because they lost Devontae Adams. But remember, we have a back-to-back MVP, Aaron fucking Rodgers, on our team. What we did to the Arizona Cardinals, the 7-0 Arizona Cardinals, on Thursday night at Arizona without Devontae Adams, I think we'll be okay. Now, yes, that was a very tight game, but I think we're going to be perfectly fine. I think we're going to sweep the division. I think that we're going to go 13-4 and maybe hopefully not choke in the fucking NFC Championship game. Because I kind of want to see the Packers go to the Super Bowl. I'd be partying all night if they did. So
Yeah, that'd be nice. That would be nice to see.
Nice. That would
And
really
then,
be
weirdly
nice.
enough, there's a lot of Packer fans out here in Montana.
Oh,
a lot of
really?
them.
A lot of them? Damn. Okay. What else? What about the Milwaukee Bucks? What do you think about how their season ended? How the fucking Celtics basically utilized the Chris Middleton being out to get to the finals, basically.
I don't know. I didn't really care that much because after that point, I wanted Steph to win, and I was loving every second of Jason Tater Tots choking. That was so much fun to watch. I don't care. Oh, I wanted Jason Tatum to get a ring. Jaylen Brown was the one carrying. Jaylen Brown, this Derek White guy, I've never even heard of until Dude, that guy looks like Megamind. You take his headband off, he looks like Megamind. He's got a big ass forehead. He's got a baby face. And you got Marcus Smart and Al Horford. They were carrying the Celtics, but Steph Curry is just unbelievable and better in every way, shape, or form. He owns the Celtics, and I have a feeling they might run it back. I have a feeling they could run it back.
I think so. You got Klay Thompson. You got Brian Poole, which they picked up in the draft, I think, a couple years ago, or maybe this past season.
It's Jordan Poole.
Jordan Poole. I thought it was Brian Poole. Sorry, Jordan Poole. And of course Steph Curry. Of course they got. I mean, I think wasn't Iguodala on the bench though for the whole series with the Celtics?
Yeah, he was pretty much on the bench.
Yeah.
He hit a couple threes. That's it.
Damn. But and then you have Draymond Green, the motherfucker who also makes a podcast, talks shit about the other players. Love it so much. But I think they're going to run it back. I mean, they're a dynasty for a reason. I mean, I think they were injured for so many seasons. I think they're finally getting healthy, and if they can just stay healthy throughout the season.
They built their team through the draft. That's the difference between them and every other team. Okay,
100%.
the Bucks have too. And the Bucks added Joe Ingles. So, and he can shoot the ball. He can shoot that motherfucking ball.
Dude, I went to the Bucks versus the Bulls game 2 where Chris Middleton got injured, and of course we lost that game, and so I was like, oh, I wish I had got a refund, but dude, it was amazing. I fucking dabbed up Giannis when in workouts when he was doing his pre-workout shit. I dabbed him up and I fist bumped Brook Lopez. That motherfucker has some long ass arms, but. Dude, it was awesome. I had so much fun, and it was just amazing to see Giannis do all the shit that he was doing in person. Oh my God, it's amazing. I was going crazy, screaming my fucking lungs out. I cannot wait to go to another game, regular season game probably, to hopefully see some of those bench players, like our first round pick. I don't know if he's going to be a starter off the bat because of our lineup that we have. But also Thanasis. I feel like Thanasis would be an amazing person if he just didn't fucking foul all the time. So I cannot wait. I'm just so excited. I think the Bucks have a really good shot if they stay healthy. I think they always have. So if Chris Middleton was there, I think it would have been the Warriors versus the Bucks for the finals.
Yeah, so do I.
I think the Warriors would have won that. The way that Steph was fucking just cooking the Celtics. Also, by the way, all the motherfuckers on Twitter, all those fucking stans on Twitter who are saying Jason Tatum is the new Kobe Bryant, shut the fuck up. Do not compare Jason Tatum to fucking Kobe Bryant. We saw this with fucking Devin Booker. This motherfucker, Devin Booker's also on the new fucking 2K23 cover. He shouldn't even be on there. Fucking crybaby bitch. Anyways, that was me ranting. Do not compare Kobe Bryant to Jason Tatum. It's like comparing like white bread to whole wheat bread. You cannot do that shit. You cannot. Kobe Bryant will never be fucking defeated. That motherfucker was amazing. The way that he would shoot the ball, the way that he would just flow on the court. Jason Tatum, yeah, he's a fucking lengthy, tall motherfucker, and he's good when he's not choking, but he's just. Jason Tatum is so inconsistent. Yep, he's like 26, right? He's like 20. He's young. He's young, so he's going into his prime. So expectations are very high for Jason. But man, I don't know. Jason Tatum. I don't know if he's the guy. He's that guy. He's just not that guy.
He's just choked. He's just bad.
Yeah, I mean, Giannis, I feel like he should have won MVP again this year with the stats that he put up, and I was so fucking mind-boggled when he put up how many points, like 200 total points against the Celtics in 7 games, and 50 rebounds and 50 assists or something like that, something crazy like that, some stupid stat. It is crazy. That guy, he's going in his prime. He's like 26. He's turning 27, I believe, or he is 27. So he's going into his prime. That motherfucker is staying until about 2026 or 7, I want to say, because he re-signed with the Bucks. So I cannot wait to see him, and hopefully he can transform his game from being a slam dunk motherfucker to more of a mid-range kind of like kind of torch the defense. I cannot wait for that. So yeah, I mean, any other thoughts on anything you want to talk about?
I think we answered all that. I think I got it all out.
Yeah, I think I did too. This is who needs a fucking therapist when you can talk to Ethan Davis, I suppose. So, thank you so much for having me, man. It was a pleasure.
Yeah, no problem.
Yeah, you're definitely gonna be on the podcast soon, 100%, and we're gonna talk about sports or some shit, something stupid. So, thank you again for having me, and have a good one, dude.
All right, appreciate it. Thank you, sir.
Yeah. Thank you guys so much for listening to the Leisgang Lounge. If you made it this far, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button. I make podcasts nearly every fucking day. I missed yesterday, but make sure to just keep in touch. I mean, just keep on watching and keep on watching. I have some really good viewpoints. I think tomorrow I'm going to be talking with one of my old pals from high school that I haven't talked to in years, so you're going to hear that. And thank you guys so much for listening, and see you next time.